Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and this is your stimulus check update for the next stimulus package for Tuesday, November 10th. I hope everyone is off to a good and safe start to their Tuesday so far. In this video, I'll be discussing updates in regards to the next relief package and the second stimulus check. I'll also be discussing unemployment, what we can expect from Mitch McConnell and the Senate in negotiations over the next relief package, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, give me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so if you have received a text message or email promising you a $1,200 stimulus check, don't click on any of the links. Over the past few weeks, widespread fraudulent messages have been going out, typically saying that you have received a direct deposit of $1,200 from the Treasury Fund. It will then say further action is required to accept this payment into your account, and then there will be a link that you can click on. Then, if you actually click on the link, the website almost seems real, as it's fairly identical to the IRS website. Then, on that website, it gets you to fill out your personal and financial details, even including your bank account information. I gotta say, it's pretty sad that with everything that took place this year, criminals are still trying to take advantage of the most vulnerable people. This is just the lowest of the low, and I hate to see anyone getting scammed. So, please, spread the word about this to friends and family. There has not been another stimulus check passed, so report these people if you receive any messages from them. You can do so by forwarding any text or emails you get to phishing@irs.com. And with that said, let me know in the comment section below if you or any of your family members have received any of these messages. I personally haven't, but I'm making sure that everyone knows about it in hopes that nobody gets scammed, especially during this hard time. Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, let's get into some stimulus related news. Mitch McConnell and the Senate returned to Washington yesterday, where the top priority was to begin working on another relief package. In addition to that, they'll also need to pass a new government funding deal by December 11th in order to avert a government shutdown. If the two sides want to pass another relief package by year's end, they'll need to act quickly, as they'll just have 7 weeks to do so. This makes it fairly unlikely to pass anything, especially with the Trump administration no longer making any efforts and McConnell now having the lead. It's also being rumored that even though Joe Biden is not yet president, he may jump into the negotiations in the next few weeks. And these two do have quite the history together. After all, they served more than 2 decades together in the Senate before Biden became the vice president under Barack Obama. When Biden was the vice president, he also worked together with McConnell to secure some deals as well. So if we do have to wait until January or February when Biden takes inauguration, if Trump's lawsuits do fall through and he concedes, then we may actually have a pretty good shot at getting something done. Because a McConnell negotiation with Pelosi probably isn't going to work out all that well. Pelosi wasn't the biggest fan of President Trump, and she doesn't think too highly of McConnell either. Pelosi calls McConnell the Grim Reaper and says the Senate is a graveyard for bills to die when they reach the Senate. So you'd have to favor a negotiation between Biden and McConnell much more than a negotiation between Pelosi and McConnell. Now, we already know what Pelosi's looking for in the next relief package, but you may be wondering, what would Biden be looking for in another stimulus package? Well, some of the things that he's been advocating for in response to this virus are an extension of the unemployment benefits. He's been looking to extend those benefits at $600 per week, which may be the only issue, with McConnell looking more at around $300 per week. All in all, an extension of the unemployment benefits is a bipartisan issue. In addition to that, Biden has also proposed increasing Social Security checks, including for veterans and SSI, by $200 per month. Biden has also advocated for paid sick leave and making virus medical treatments free. Biden believes the federal government should pay for 100% of the cost of COBRA insurance for people who lost their jobs during the pandemic for the period they are eligible. I've also seen many people asking about student loan forgiveness, and that's something that Biden is also advocating for. Like Elizabeth Warren, Biden is also endorsing a plan to forgive a minimum of $10,000 per person. Now, I will say this last one is unlikely to happen just because of the increased price tag, but it's not surprising that it is something that he's advocating for. And finally, among other things, Biden is also on board for a second round of stimulus checks. Biden hasn't mentioned how much he'd like the stimulus checks to be for, but more than likely they would be $1,200, just like in recent proposals by Democrats and Republicans alike. So there's definitely a lot of similarities in there between Biden and McConnell's plan, but again, it's going to come down to the overall price tag. Will Biden, if he takes presidency come January 20th, be more willing to work with McConnell than Pelosi will be? That's a question we may find out later on, but in the meantime, let's hope they can get moving even faster than that. The fact is, American families are struggling now and need the money now, not months from now. In the meantime, let's continue to stay as positive as we can, as hard as that can be at times, and hope for the best. In unemployment news, with every state exhausting their benefits from the Lost Wages Assistance Program, we are now waiting on Congress to pass another bill to extend these benefits on a longer-term basis. The good thing is, as mentioned, both Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi would like to pass another bill before the end of the year, but as always, talking is one thing, acting on it is another. So let's just wait and see what happens. There's almost no doubt that if they were to pass another relief package, an extension of the unemployment benefits would be included in it. At this point, more than likely, if they were to be extended, they would be extended for another 6 months, retroactive to September 12th. This means people would receive unemployment benefits from September 12th through the end of March if they were to pass something in, say, January. However, the time frame is only speculation, so we'll just have to wait and see. Even though the unemployment rate is going down month by month, which is really good, we may need one last short-term extension of the benefits until we can get our unemployment rate back down to pre-pandemic levels. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to move right along to answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you do have any other comments or questions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to answer as many of the comments and questions as I possibly can, but for those comments and questions I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first comment of today's video, which is from Norma. Norma says, "Hi Josh, so whenever the stimulus package gets passed, will we get the payments retroactive? Please advise." Thank you so much for your question, Norma, and if they do pass another relief package with unemployment benefits in it, they will more than likely be retroactive to around September 12th. This means that you should receive the unemployment benefits from September 12th up until you start your job once again, or whenever the unemployment benefits expire. This date, of course, is just a date that has been mentioned in proposals and, of course, is subject to change. With that said, I will definitely make sure to keep you updated on what the date will end up being if they do pass another relief package. Okay, moving right along to the next question in today's video, which is from Shirley. Shirley says, "Hello Josh, the people who have got the first stimulus check, are they going to get the second check also?" Alright, thank you so much for your question, Shirley, and yes, if you receive the first stimulus check, then you should also be eligible for the second stimulus check as well. This is because the requirements of receiving the second stimulus check should be almost exactly the same as the first time around. The only change in the second round of payments is that dependents over the age of 17 may end up being eligible for the payment this time around. With that said, since nothing has officially passed yet, I'll let you know exactly who's eligible once or if they do pass the bill. Okay, moving right along to the next question in today's video, which is from Lady. Lady says, "Good morning, Josh. After the table talk today between Nancy and the Republicans, if negotiations don't work out in Nancy's favor, how would it affect the American people? Considering Mitch is only willing to offer a smaller dollar amount, will that affect unemployment benefits or stimulus checks in any way?" Okay, thank you so much for your question, and you're 100% right. Since Pelosi and McConnell have two completely different ideas on how much should be spent in the next relief package, it may be difficult for them to reach an agreement. If it takes them several months to reach an agreement, we may not see a bill passed for a very long time, which could play a huge impact on American families waiting for the benefits. People who are unemployed will continue to only receive their normal state unemployment benefits, which, quite frankly, just aren't enough to get by. Even though I do firmly believe that McConnell would be willing to include a second stimulus check and enhanced unemployment benefits in the next relief package, I have a hard time seeing him giving a lot of money towards state and local government, inflating the bill up to the $2 trillion mark. In the end, it's really going to be up to Pelosi to come down and compromise because I just don't see McConnell coming up to $2 trillion. Okay, moving right along to the last question of today's video, which is from Lucifer. Lucifer says, when can we, the American people, expect another stimulus check? Thank you so much for your question, and unfortunately, there is still no clear-cut timeline on when we can expect to receive the next stimulus check. Even though both the Democrats and the Republicans are fully on board for a second round of stimulus payments, like I mentioned before, they still have two completely different ideas on how much should be spent in total. Democrats are looking to spend around $2.2 trillion, whereas Republicans are looking to spend around $500 billion, or maybe $1 trillion at most. With that said, we can only hope that the two sides can compromise so we can get the next round of checks out very soon. As always, let's hope for the best. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so and it's a great support to me. Also, if you'd like to receive 2 free stocks from Webull with both stocks valued all the way up to $1,600 each, please feel free to claim those 2 free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And until next time, I'll see you guys and I hope you have a great day today.